what does your crystal ball say about ham radio? What's ham radio going to look like in 10 years and 50 years from now? What do you see the future being for ham radio?
Well, my goal is I want to reach 100. I have a few more to go. I'm 82, but I look like I'm 50 and act like I'm 12, but that's okay. That's what I get for running around with Keith Moon and Joe Walsh and all those guys. And I was always a designated driver because I don't drink or smoke. So there you go. I don't know. One of the things that disgust me is that ham radio is we're not having the we're not getting together with. There's too much fighting of the frequencies, and I'm here, and I've been on this frequency for 10 years, and I'm not moving, and so on. They're not very respectful of each other. If a young ham, I'm not talking about age, a newly licensed ham comes on the scene and he wants to jump into a conversation on 75 meters, God bless him, because he's not going to be welcome. He is if he calls me, but I see a very bad thing happening there. You'll get a click, and that's exactly what the heck it is. You get a clique of guys. They meet every night at 6 o'clock, and they don't want to hear from anybody else, just their little circle. That's not the way it was when I got into this hobby. And it's not the way I play it today when I do get on the air. So I I don't know if we're ever going to change that. I don't think so. That's just human nature and what's going on. But I do hope that we maintain the fact that amateur radio is a great learning curve for so many. Me being the poster child. I mean, look at what happened to me when I started out with that little Harvey Wells over there. And through the years, built things and did stuff. I ended up with very little education, but recently was giving an honorary PhD by Missouri University for music and electronics. How do you do that? And I spoke to the kids in the class for that. It was interesting. They had a podium all set up and a microphone. And I come out and I sat on the edge of the stage and talked to them and told them about things that I thought was very important. And the all of the professors, they were all shocked at first, like, what's he doing? Where's he going? He's sitting on the step. What's he doing? I didn't care about them. I didn't care to talk about the parents that came. I cared about what was right in front of me. And we talked about that, and that you might not need a great 8-year, 12-year education, but you need education. And in my case, the education happened to be a couple of things. Ham radio was a biggie because I learned so much. And every day I learn. Look at this messy place. I'm building stuff and doing stuff all the time. The other one was my music, being able to play and listen and understand what's going on there. That that's all golden to me. And so that's why when I was talking about these symposiums that we're doing, that's very important that we do those symposiums because these are things we teach things that people really need to know, and not all the people are kids. And so that's where I think that's all headed. But as far as what we're going to see with ham radio, I think it's a toss up. It's not going to be dead. I can tell you that. And the dealers are doing well. And I'm very fortunate that we have good dealers that that help us with our products, and DX Engineering and Ham Radio Outlet, Gigaparts. What a bunch of great guys. These are all wonderful people. Roger, R&L. Gosh, these are little stores, but they're giant when it comes to helping, because it started with me where I was taking organ lessons across the street from Walter Ash. And after the hour was up, I had to wait on my mother to come pick me up. Sometimes she wouldn't get back for a couple hours. And I'd go in, and that's how I became a ham, looking at all the radios. And then I got to building something right after I got my license. This is a very important thing I'm going to tell you. I walked across the street and I had a list. I needed some parts. I needed a resistor, and I needed a tube socket shield and some wire. And so I go in, and I'm 15 years old. I didn't know anybody there yet, but this man waited on me, and the resistor was a penny. I remember that. And he said, "Now, son, do you know what you're going to do with this?" And I told him, "Yes, I'm putting it in a transmitter that I'm building from QST." And he said, "What is it for?" I said, "Well, I think it goes on the screen. It's a screen resistor." Well, he said, "Let me show you." So he takes me over to this round table and sits me down, and he's drawing diagrams and telling me how the current's going to flow here, what we need here, what we need there. Thank you very much. Didn't think much about it. Next week, I go in to spend more time waiting on Mom. And one of the guys on the counter, I'm just looking at radios now. I heard this voice say, "Mr. Ash, come here. I need your help." Mr. Ash was the guy that the week before sat me down for 30 minutes and told me how a penny resistor worked. You can't make this stuff up. And that is why I get so involved in helping people, because look what it did for me. And so I feel really good that I can help a lot of people. And Ham Nation did thousands of them. We were running 40, 50,000 views on that thing. And all these clubs are coming to me. All they got to do is send me an email with a date and a phone number, and we'll be there. And I just love sharing people with the people. I have a lot of things we talk about. And most of it is stuff that they need to know. And it's not in the handbooks. No.